Well, here we go. This is the teardown. Previously I did a quick review on these based on first impressions. We're going to see what makes this thing tick. Let's get rid of these grills real quick. There's no markings on what type of plastic this is, but it is. It may have glass fiber in there, really a tiny bit, just to make it a little more rigid. Steel grills. That is vinyl. Okay. So we had 4 screws holding the grills on, and it looks like 4 holding the 8-inch drivers. There's the same that hold down this top assembly, also hold down the speakers, so those are all the same size. And the different ones are the ones holding down those clips. So out comes the first one. It does have soldered connections. Much better. I like to see that. There's a very small gauge to handle 400 watts RMS. So maybe, I don't know, 18 gauge wire. And to no surprise, what I had thought in the first place, I'm not going to find any information on these things. It looks like I will have to check out how they're wired in here. But these are supposed to be 8 ohm speakers, 16 ohm. Are in here. So I guess if they wire these together, you can run them on one channel to make 8 ohms. But they are 16 ohm drivers. Just a steel frame. Don't really see anything special. These are not vented. There's a solid back on there. So let's see what else is going on in here. This is a wide open enclosure. Ooh, I don't like that. To get a better shot of this, but their crossover really is there even a crossover in here? Goodness. Okay. The speaker lead's going straight into the two. It's supposed to be a mid and a tweeter, but I guess these are mid drivers, so that can handle that. Their crossover consists of everything looks like it's in parallel. And there's just a resistor. Okay, here we are. This is what I'm talking about. You can see the Move that out of the way. Here's the back of the speaker connections. Everything just parallels through, so they take this, jumped it to here, jumped it to here. So all of these, no matter what you plug into either side, it's still left and right channel, which is acceptable. This wire gauge is very tiny. But with what's in here, I can't see it drawing that much power. This, that's covered in packing tape, same stuff you would ship a box with, would be where the crossover network is. However, it's just 2 bus bars that run down here, and a resistor. A 10 watt, maybe 300 ohm or so. There's no crossover, just a resistor. So, speakers into this mess. They did solder the connections onto these unbranded speakers, so those are at least done okay. But there is no crossover, which explains all the harshness I was getting off of this thing, which is as cheap as you can get. Here's what we're looking at for the backside. Super thin plastic. There is no weight to these whatsoever. I'm gonna have to take these caps off to see what's in there, but I'm not gonna expect much. The thing that I said that sounded like a piezo, there might even be a piezo buzzer in the top of that, who knows. But there's nothing to it. Super duper thin. And this wiring mess that goes down. So there's a resistor on one of these 2 drivers. I'm guessing. I'm going to have to tone it out to see exactly why that's in there, because there's much better ways to do this, but there is no crossover in this unit. There's no polyfill, no insulation, it's just a little box. That black stuff in there looks like leftover glue from when they're gluing this carpet on. There is a cross brace. I may have to reinforce that because it looks like it may just be glued to space. Get that out of here. Little ports should pop out. Really glued. The ports are maybe, well, I can tell you exactly. This minus that. Ports are running, they're about 2 inches deep. The opening itself is also 2 inches. The flare is just to hold it on there, and then they've got kind of a grill in there so you don't stick your fingers through and whatever else you want to stick in there. Oh, that's interesting. There's a plastic thing. Oh. Got a tripod mount kind of screwed to it. Okay, so construction, we are looking at 1/4 inch straw board or fiberboard, whatever you want to call it, on the face. We do have MDF for the sides and back, it appears, and also these little reinforcement pieces are MDF, so the face has a more flexible material. It all looks to be about 1/4 inch. Or for you metric people, we can put that in there. Looks like 15 millimeters or so, maybe a little less. So, can't say I'm terribly surprised at what I'm finding in here, but like I was saying, they don't cost much. Now here we go. I have the wires disconnected from the top and bottom. I did label where they came from because I have not toned out where these go. One goes through the resistor, maybe both. I'll find out later. But what's inside? That's my main concern right now. Alright. Wow. My God. Okay. Well, we have just a membrane speaker that looks like it's glued to maybe a paper cone down in there. Oh my goodness. Don't attach with anything else. Nope. So here's what we're looking at from the inside. Not much to look at. Here's driver number 1. Paper cone. Maybe it's super glued to the outside of this plastic, so that makes your cone. And on the back, it's basically a membrane piezo tweeter just glued to it. It goes the same with the other one. However, look at the way it's installed. What do you think about that? What they did with the other one was it's super glued around the edge to at least make a cone. They got some of it glued, and I'm assuming it's got the same membrane down on the bottom there. So, this is garbage. This is also garbage, but this explains why I couldn't hear anything out of the top one. Even so, these aren't even real speakers. You'll find this in child's toys, and what else do they love putting these in? Oh, you know those gift cards, or not gift cards, like the birthday cards. You open them up, they play music. Same exact membrane that they stick in those. There's no proper driver out of this whole mess that was on the top. So would I still recommend these? Even what I paid for them? No. It's crap. One look at this before I finish it up and do something with it. I just clipped out the resistor. Labeled where these two things connected, so I knew where those went. Which is in and out of this little PCB. So, let's see exactly what's going where. I'm guessing we've got a resistor on these things because anything over 5 watts will blow them. But, like I was saying, packing tape. Nice, huh? Well, here's what we're looking at. An LY01 brand number board. Basically, there's a couple bus bars here. We've got 2 connections here on one. All of these are tied together, which are all the black wires, so it shares a common ground between all the speakers. We've got a resistor that jumps from this bar to this bar, so this small bar over here with 1 speaker connected to it. So they put a resistor on this one that was never installed from the factory correctly in the first place.